to Game 1 of this 4-game series against the Florida Marlins, and Game 2 will come to you from our production truck here at Fox Sports Wisconsin. We'll give you an all-access look at how the broadcast is brought to you each and every night. I'm Telly Hughes, and behind me you can see the crews not only from our Brewers broadcast, but the Florida Marlins broadcast as they get ready for their show as well. And this is something that started way before now, actually this afternoon. As you take a look at the production schedule, it started at 2 o'clock. It was a crew call for production truck, and then at 2:30, it was our camera technicians coming in. And then at 3:30, they had the technical facts for transmission to make sure the airways were clear for you to see Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin. And then after lunch, you come back, you have pre-production, and you have rehearsals for open mic for Brian and Bill to make sure everything is okay for the start of the broadcast. And then we hit the airwaves at 6:30 for Brewers Live. And you can get an all-access look on foxsportswisconsin.com and see how everything is set up, get interviews from our talented crew, and see how they prepare for each and every broadcast that's brought to you right here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. A big night here in the production truck, and a big night for Mark Rogers, who will make his Major League debut as a starting pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers. When we return, Brian Anderson and Bill Schroeder will have more on the rookie when Brewers baseball continues on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By AT&T, find out what's possible with the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Triple Hop Brewed Miller Lite, taste greatness. And our behind-the-scenes broadcast continues tonight. And good news for the Milwaukee Brewers. Ryan Braun, the slugger who was hit by a pitch just the other day. He missed yesterday's game. He is back. A bruise on his left elbow. He'll be wearing a protective guard tonight. Braun back in the lineup, and that's a good thing for Mark Rogers as he realizes a career dream. Mark Rogers making his first career Major League start. After 2 games out of the bullpen, it'll be his turn tonight in the spotlight. And hi, everybody. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. Great to have you with us tonight. And, Rock, we're all anxious to see Mark Rogers, a former first-rounder, came out of the 2004 draft. He's just 24 years of age, and he's going to get his shot tonight.
And it's going to be a lot of fun. Mark Rogers, a power pitcher, got it up to about 98 miles an hour here in the big leagues. Triple digits down in the minor leagues. Missed 07 and 08 with shoulder surgeries, but made 24 starts in Double-A. He's going to have a limited pitch count, but looking forward to watching him tonight.
Well, earlier we had a chance to visit with Mark Rogers about his first major league start and his preparation for that start.
Trust my preparation. I mean, that's all I can really do to be prepared is my routine, stick to that, and just to ultimately be as prepared as I possibly can. And as of right now, that's all I'm really thinking about. I'm not trying to put too much pressure on Friday. I'm trying to take it as another start. And, it's not the day to worry about it today. There's still a lot of time left, so I'm just trying to get as prepared as I possibly can.
Well, he's got a great arm. He's hit triple digits this year. Speaking of triple digits, some Brewer hitters going after that landmark. As far as RBIs, McGee and Hart and Braun, all with a chance this season. Stay with us. Baseball coming up next from Miller Park. Well, a beautiful Friday night in Milwaukee. Actually very windy out, but the temperatures are cooling off, starting to feel like fall again. And there are the TV trucks where all the magic happens. You know, we always say the talent is in the truck. And for exclusive interviews behind the scenes with our crew, visit foxsportswisconsin.com and click on the Brewers Superfan tab. Take you behind the scenes all night long, and it's a big start for Mark Rogers. And the first lineup he'll face as a big league starter, put together by that man, Edwin Rodriguez. And here it is, brought to you by Subway. Cameron Maven leads off. Ozzie Martinez bats second with Logan Morrison in the 3-hole. Morrison has reached base safely in 42 consecutive now. Dan Uggla, Gabby Sanchez, and Chad Tracy in the middle. And it's Mike Stanton, Brad Davis, and Andrew Miller rounding out the Marlins lineup against Mark Rogers. And you know he's got to be fighting some jitters at this point.
Yeah, of course, those two appearances out of the bullpen helped him somewhat to alleviate a little bit of the jitters. But still in all, very exciting to see Mark Rogers out there on the mound. An 0-4 first rounder. The Brewers are wondering if he was ever going to get to the major leagues. But here he is. His big arm. He's been throwing the baseball well. 24 starts in Double-A this year.
And let's check the defense behind Mark Rogers tonight. It's brought to you by Blaine's with Braun back in the lineup. Kane in center, Hart in right. Casey McGee, Luis Cruz, Ricky Weeks, and Prince Fielder around the horn, with Jonathan Lucroy catching Mark Rogers, and a familiar battery with these two down in the minor leagues. And good to see Ryan Braun back in the starting lineup after a game missed yesterday with a bruise to his elbow. First pitch for Mark Rogers is in there for a strike, and away we go. Scott Berry will call the balls and strikes tonight. The crew chief is Dale Scott at second base, and Jerry Meals and Dan Isonia on the corners. And that hit him. So Rogers hits Cameron Maben. And a base runner right away for the Florida Marlins.
Now it's going to be important for Mark Rogers to have a clean and a successful first inning. You figure he's going to be a little bit jittery out there. That one just barely getting a piece of Cameron Maben.
Rogers made 2 appearances out of the bullpen. 2 one-inning stints, did not allow a run, had 1 strikeout. He pitched against the Cubs on the 10th of September, again against the Astros on the last road trip on the 15th of September. But Rock, his last start was September 1st down in the minor leagues. So it's been a while since he's been asked to go extended innings.
And according to the Brewers, it's going to be around 60 pitches, and they're hoping it's going to be, 4 or 5 innings, whatever he's able to get to. But the one advantage Rogers has tonight, a little bit of a comfort factor. Jonathan Lucroy caught him down in Double-A. So they know each other pretty well.
Lucroy began the season at Double-A, eventually made it to Triple-A, and then to the big leagues. And he's been the everyday catcher since his promotion. I'm sure it's comforting for Mark Rogers to have Lucroy, and it's comforting for Lucroy to know Mark Rogers as well as he does. He's had to learn everybody else, for that matter.
Yeah, I talked to Jonathan before the ball game. He says his fastball, Rogers' fastball, very impressive, upper 90s with some good sink to it. He's got a good curveball and a changeup.
Well, because he has not started since the 1st of September, he will have a pretty strict pitch count on him tonight. Ken Mock is saying it'd be around 60 pitches. He's hoping for 5 innings. That would be ideal. But 60 pitches, that's not many to get through 5, especially for a guy coming back from 2 surgeries and had his command problems down in the minor leagues this year.
Well, 1 of 2 starts probably for Rogers, and he just got to settle in, get the nerves out, and pitch his game. We'll see how it works out. It's exciting to see him out on the mound, though.
There goes Maben, and a strike, no throw from Lucroy. Cameron Maben steals second base. As the count goes to 3-2, that's number 8 for Cameron Maben this year.
Yeah, big leg kick, no chance for Lucroy to throw him out at second base.
Full count, Ozzie Martinez back in there at short for the injured Hanley Ramirez. That is down the line, foul. Just missed the bag at third.
That fastball up and in. Maybe Martinez expecting fastball, able to get the bat head out and just hooked it foul. Nothing but fastball so far for Mark Rogers.
Rogers, a first rounder in 04. He was a hockey player in the great state of Maine. He's from Orr's Island, Maine. Had a chance to go to the NHL, or at least into the minor league system professionally as a hockey player. He had a decision to make after he graduated in 2004. Was he going to go play hockey, or was he going to go to the University of Miami on a baseball scholarship, or was he going to sign a professional contract? And he signed the contract with the Brewers. And that is a walk. Ozzie Martinez able to check his swing. The first 2 have reached in this first inning.
A lot of times when you're out there and you're trying to get yourself together, a little bit of nerves, the mechanics can be suspect, and Roger just trying to get command of that fastball first. That pitch down in the zone. Always important, and the Marlins are thinking the same thing. Put pressure on him early to rattle him a little bit, and so far they've been able to do that.
Lucroy with a quick trip to the mound. So 2 on to start it. And here is Logan Morrison, who has reached base in 42 consecutive games. It's the longest streak in Major League Baseball this year. And he is 4 away from a Florida Marlins record. As Rogers deals him strike 1. Morrison, a young player as well, a rookie, with his dad in attendance. There's his father, Tom, who is battling lymphoma. Took the train to Milwaukee from Louisiana to watch his son play in this series, as he is unable to fly.
Yeah, whatever it takes to see the kid play, right? That's a dream of parents, to see their kids flourish no matter what it is. And a train ride from Louisiana to Milwaukee, nothing. They'll do that and more.
Ball and a strike on Morrison. Last night the Brewers won 8-3, and they put together big nights offensively in consecutive games. 8 runs on 15 hits last night. Giovanni Gallardo won his 14th game. And back on Wednesday night, it was a 13-1 victory over the Reds. 13 runs on 19 hits. Morrison pops it foul. McGee and Cruz give it chase, and just out of the reach of Casey McGee.
Yeah, I saw a shot of Giovanni Gallardo. He was outstanding last night. He's got that curveball back, does Gallardo. There was a stretch where he was having a tough time with that pitch, but his last 2 starts, that power curveball has been back, and it's been a good pitch for him. Threw it pretty hard last night, about 96 a few times. Hitting it up there between 93 and 94 on average, but Gallardo looked very good last night.
9 strikeouts for Gallardo last night. Brewers have won back-to-back games after dropping the first 2 of this final homestand of the year. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Morrison. What do you think about Giovanni Gallardo and Mark Rogers, both high-round draft picks? Giovanni was a second-round pick in that same draft, 2004. He was the second-rounder behind Mark Rogers. Both out of high school, the same age. And you can see the long road that it's been for Rogers. There's a called strike 3. Morrison is rung up, and he's not happy with Scott Berry.
Excellent pitch by Mark Rogers. Not exactly sure he was trying to put it right where he did. At the knees on the outside corner. You can't walk it across any better than that. You don't blame Morrison for taking it. Not going to do much with that anyway. Scott Berry rings him up.
First strikeout of the night, the first out for Mark Rogers. And here is Dan Uggla. Never been afraid of a good fastball in his career. So they started a breaking ball. Not a bad idea.
That's a nice curveball. A nice, short, sharp breaking curveball. Doesn't have that big loopy movement to it. Drops it in the strike zone. Now, if you're a hitter, what are you looking for now? You can throw anything up there. That'll keep him guessing.
Brewers are looking for a ground ball here to turn 2. Cut it a miss. Tied him up with a good fastball.
Got some good late sink on it. Boy, that was a nice pitch. 3 consecutive strikes now for Mark Rogers after striking out Morrison.
He's got Uggla 0-2. And back to the hook. Uggla lays off. You think about Gallardo at 24 years of age and an established ace already, the opening day starter. When Jack Zarenzek and Doug Melvin put that draft together in 04, they had visions of Rogers and Gallardo 1 and 2 in the starting rotation. But 2 shoulder surgeries for Mark Rogers, and he is just now making his first big league start. He fights his mechanics. That's been an issue that They have tried to correct in the minor leagues. He throws a little bit across his body, which puts a lot of pressure on that shoulder.
Yeah, which is why he has had a number of surgeries on that right shoulder. But I'll tell you, he's looking good right now. We saw him in spring training. His numbers down in the minor leagues very good. Average the strikeout per inning down in Double-A.
Rogers' first surgery was July of '06, and that was the big one. They call it the slap lesion. That's when they reconstruct that shoulder. Tried to come back. The surgery actually occurred in December of '06. He tried to come back for the '08 season, and then he required another surgery in June of '08, and that was basically a cleanup. He had a lot of scar tissue from the first surgery, which is why his development has been delayed 2 years at least. Last year he was back and healthy. He pitched in Brevard County, which is single A for the Brewers, and had a 1.67 ERA in 23 games. And we saw a little bit of him this spring. He was a non-roster invite to big league camp and spent most of the season in Double-A as he loses Uggla. So a hit batter and 2 walks in this first inning.
Yeah, just trying to overthrow just a little bit. Ball cutting, ball sinking, not much consistency to the pitches or the delivery for that matter, and that's to be expected. Rick Peterson on his way out to calm him down. But the stuff is there. It's just a matter of him, ironing out those mechanics, calming down, relaxing out there a little bit. Much easier said than done at this point, if you're Rogers.
Now, Rogers and Rick Peterson have been in the tool shed, if you will, for the last 10 days or so. There was some talk that Rogers would continue to pitch out of the bullpen. That's how he would maintain his arm strength. But instead, at the urging of Rick Peterson, Ken Maka decided to just allow Rogers to slip into more of a bullpen mode where he would throw a lot of pitches and work on all of his stuff, go through game plans, and kind of get his arm strength built back up, as opposed to pitching in just one inning at a time here or there. So he hasn't been on the mound since the 15th of September, at least in a game. Sanchez takes a strike.
Yeah, and even for a veteran pitcher, that could be a problem. Let alone a young kid making his debut as a starter.
Well, since his start on September 1st, where he picked up a win against Montgomery, I think they're the Montgomery Biscuits.
Don't know.
He's only pitched 3 times, the 2 relief appearances, and of course here tonight. Got it on the hands, good fastball. It's 1-2 to Gabby Sanchez, making a run at a Rookie of the Year this season. He'll be on the list.
And Rogers up and in, a good thing. Look at the swing by Sanchez. He doesn't get cheated up there. Takes a mighty hack every time.
Big numbers with bases loaded for Gabby Sanchez. Bases full, 1 out, first inning. A lot of pitches in this first inning for Rogers. He's already at 26. Got him. Put it right by him. 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and Sanchez is rung up. Second strikeout for Rogers.
Yeah, that shows you what kind of stuff he has. I mean, he just threw that one right by him, right down the middle of the plate. This is where it all started, that curveball for a strike. He kind of got out of whack with his mechanics a little bit. You could just see the difference in the delivery, and that's why he's been so inconsistent throwing the ball over the plate. And this last pitch, a dandy right down the middle. Not too many bigglers are going to miss that, but he's got some good giddy up on that fastball. Some good finish.
2 men are out. Here's Chad Tracy, strike one. Tracy was in the starting lineup last night, on base twice, 1 for 3 at the plate. Veteran infielder, started the year with the Cubs and has found a home here with the Florida Marlins.
Getting oiled up now, isn't he? 96.
It's impressive. It's easy too. Easy 96. Our behind-the-scenes broadcast tonight throughout this game will take you inside the truck. I want to give you an idea of what happens to produce a Brewers baseball game. Good night to do it. Mark Rogers on the mound. And a swing and a miss. He strikes out the side. It was a roller coaster first inning, but he's out of it. As you listen to our boys down in the truck, count us out.
Let's do it. Music. 7, 6, 5. 4, 3, 2, 1, break.
Are the cue balls, as we call them. Chris Withers producing, Michael Odino directing, and bossing people around as he does so well. Subway batting order for the Milwaukee Brewers: Ricky Weeks, Corey Hart, and Ryan Braun at the top. Prince Fielder, Casey McGee, and Lorenzo Cain in the middle of Maka's order, with Jonathan Lucroy, Luis Cruz getting his second consecutive start, and Mark Rogers on the mound. And it's Andrew Miller to pitch to these Milwaukee Brewers tonight. It has been a rough couple of starts for Andrew Miller, and a 1-3 record rock with an 8.17 ERA.
Yeah, he's really having a tough time. He's 6'6", 210 pounds, called up from Double-A. He pitched against the Brewers last year. He got a no decision. He's got 77 major league appearances under his belt, including 52 starts. But this has certainly been a year to forget.
Ricky Weeks leading off. 28 home runs on the season for Weeks. He hit number 28 as a 3-hole hitter last night. Got a chance at a 30-homer season. The Brewers could have 3 players with 30 home runs as Weeks bounces to second. Ugler will take care of it. And it's out number 1. Here's how the Marlins line up defensively. Logan Morrison, Cameron Maben, and Mike Stanton in the outfield. Stanton made a great throw last night. Chad Tracy, Ozzie Martinez, Dan Uggla, and Gabby Sanchez. Brad Davis does the catching. The 20-year-old Mike Stanton, and we got a good look at his bazooka arm yesterday as he gunned down Carlos Gomez at third base. It was funny. After the game, Brad Fisher joined us for the instructional, and he said, you know, you got to find out what you have, right? I won't be running on Mike Stanton anymore.
Yeah, he's got a good arm, man. I'll tell you, that ball jumps off his bat, too. I was walking by him in the service level today. He is a giant of a man. He is a big man out there, and I'll tell you, he swings a big stick, too.
6'5", 220, signed a letter of intent to go play football at USC. Instead, he signed with the Marlins, and he's already in the big leagues at 20 years of age, and he's already hit as many home runs as years he's been alive. How many 20-year-olds hit 20 homers in the big leagues?
Right, not many.
Corey Hart into left field, a base hit. So Hart keeps swinging the bat after his 30th home run last night. Oh, good to see Ryan Braun back in the starting lineup tonight. Rocky missed one game after he was drilled by Sam LaCour in Wednesday's game against the Reds.
I think that one got a little bit more meat than the one that Tommy Hanson got him early in the season. That one that Hanson hit on that elbow, right on the bone. I think that was just above that area. I think that saved Brawny a couple of games.
Ryan gets a nice ovation as he steps in tonight. A .307 hitter, Braun. 23 home runs, 93 RBIs. You see that Braun is wearing that protective sleeve on his elbow. He does not like wearing that padding. Matter of fact, he said one of the things that led to his struggles this year was that elbow padding after he was hit by the Tommy Hanson fastball in May. He says he doesn't feel like he can get to the outside pitch with that on, but he's got to give it a go because he can't afford to take another shot to the elbow at this point. A hot one out to second. Ugla 2 second for one, and that's all they'll get. Hit it hard, but Dan Ugla makes a nice play to get the second out of the inning. Prince Fielder coming up. Last night, Fielder, a tape measure shot. The only question was it fair or foul, and it just hooked inside the foul pole. Fielder with his 31st home run of the year. He and Ricky Weeks went back-to-back last night, and there is the Powerball home run leaderboard.
And a legitimate chance to get to 30 as well. That would be something. Ricky Weeks with 30 home runs. Dan Ugla with the Marlins is second baseman already with 30 homers. Two pretty good run-producing second basemen in this series.
.31 home runs, 78 driven in for Prince. He's got an on-base percentage of .404, which is second highest. That'll be a tough pitch for Fielder tonight if he throws it there.
Yeah, it's basically fastball, curveball, changeup for Andrew Miller. Corey Hart hit a hanging curveball, so most of the time he's been hanging that pitch. And if you look at that earned run average, but if he keeps it down there, he might be in for a pretty good night.
Almost hit him, gets back to the screen, and Braun will end up at second base. You could hear Fielder bark out as he was waiting for the pain. Somehow it missed him.
Yeah, Prince can't believe it didn't hit him. Yeah, that big curveball followed by a fastball in, and Prince somehow able to get out of the way. It's been a command issue for Miller all season long. Even down in the minor leagues. This guy was 1-8 in the minor leagues this year.
Little bouncer up the middle. Ozzie Martinez is there, and the side is retired. One in the books. Blinking lights.
take you inside our production truck, and you can get full coverage on FoxSportsWisconsin.com, behind-the-scenes footage. You can also get full interviews from all the people you see and hear, and something you may not know about a broadcast, and that is most often the production truck is shared between the two teams. These are the Fox Sports Florida people working on the Marlins broadcast, and on the other side you will see the Brewers broadcast, and they share video. They also share ideas sometime, and it's all one big happy family in this production truck. And as I show you some of the other things you may not get a chance to see often, and that is all the buttons and bells and whistles back here. And BA, you say it all the time. The true talent is here in the truck, and that's why I'm about to get out of here, because I have no idea what half of these buttons mean and what they do.
We only say that. We don't mean it. We just say it to make them feel good.
I hope that our guys aren't sharing some of these Brewers secrets with the Florida people.
It happens. We don't really call it sharing. We call it stealing. As Mike Stanton leads off for the Florida Marlins. And his big swing against Mark Rogers. Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of folks might not know that wherever we go, when we go on the road, we also share trucks with the other teams in the Fox Sports family. And here in that same truck, Stanton, is that a foul ball or is that a hit batter?
Should be an out.
Actually, it was a fair ball. You're right. So Scott Berry is saying it's an out. Stanton's trying to sell the fact that he was hit in the hand.
Well, if it hits half bat and half hand, it's a fair ball. Let's see what it gets. Looks like it got the knob of the bat, actually. Check it out, right on the end of the bat, and that's a good call. That's a fair ball.
Stanton's hand is wrapped around the bottom knob of that bat.
And it's too hard to tell. I mean, there's no way you could really reverse anything like that, even if you asked any of the other umpires, because that knob of the bat and the hand wrapped around, it sounded like wood.
Stanton trying to tell Scott Berry that I wrap the hand, I wrap it. And Edwin Rodriguez is making the same argument.
Probably hit both. I would imagine it hit them both. There was the old days when they said that the hands were part of the bat. That's no longer the case, but on a call like that, it sounded like bat. You can't really blame the home plate umpire, Scott Berry, for making that call. They're going to ask Dale Scott what he thought. He's going to say, how can I tell? Home plate umpire is right on top of it.
Dale Scott is the crew chief. He's coming down from second base. And the ruling is going to stand here. So Edwin Rodriguez, he's right to argue. He's trying to protect his player. And I think you could make a case for either side in this case. But it goes against the Marlins. And the Brewers get an out of it. So Mark Rogers with one gone here in the second inning, avoiding his second hit batter of the game. And here comes Brad Davis.
When you see a play like that, you just get a sense for how much movement that Mark Rogers fastball actually has. Guys going after it, thinking it's on the inside corner, and it just explodes, goes in on him, and just couldn't get out of the way.
Now Rogers in the first inning stranded the bases loaded. It was a wild ride in his first major league start. And a little soft liner right to Rogers. 2 outs. Rogers hit a batter and then walked a batter in the first inning. He had 2 on before he knew what was happening. He struck out Logan Morrison. Then he struck out Gabby Sanchez. Finally striking out Chad Tracy with the bases loaded.
You see where Lucroy was when he caught that ball? He was standing up.
Had to jump for that one.
That was a waste pitch that Chad Tracy went after.
I think it's safe to say Tracy made up his mind he was going to swing.
And one of the things we haven't mentioned about Mark Rogers, how good of an athlete he is. He really corrected himself. The ball wasn't hit as hard as he initially thought, but still able to make the catch on that soft liner. Takes a very impressive batting practice as well.
All pitchers fashion themselves as athletes. We know different. Mark Rogers is truly an athlete. Bouncer to Prince. Rogers covers. And he's right there. Good inning. 3 up, 3 down. Marlins go in order. The video room. There's Dave Larson doing what he does best.
Monitors are in there. How many games can you watch in there? That'd be great. No score, bottom of the second inning, and after most Sunday Brewers home games, kids 16 and under can run the bases right here at Miller Park. That's compliments of great clips. For ticket information, call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com.
And our Carsoup.com email. The booth question tonight comes from Jeff in Madison. He wants to know, how many cameras do you guys have during a broadcast? And we always answer these, but how about we put those behind the scenes on the spot? How about we go to Michael Odino, our director, for this answer. Michael, do you have anything?
We have 16 cameras, various angles, but I want to show you my favorite. Jesse, can you push in the camera 12? This is my favorite camera angle. This is the one I watch all game, right there. Somebody Dissolve 4.
That's the
and
eavesdrop.
what do you guys think of that angle? Dissolve 4 at the box.
And it happens.
Big brother always watching.
Always watching.
You can't make any faces. You can't pick your nose. You can't do anything.
Can't pick your friends.
Everybody watching in that truck. I imagine they get some good laughs throughout the year.
Yes, they do. Draw funny pictures. Well, thanks to Michael Odino. That is off the glove of Chad Tracy, and McGee will reach. That'll be an infield hit, I believe. Should be.
Better be. That's a base hit. Casey getting a fastball, inner half of the plate. He beat it into the ground, but pulled it right down the line. I think even if Tracy comes up, but he might have a chance to get Casey at first base. It would have been a tough play. Tough ball to keep in the glove, and it would have been a tough throw.
So a base runner for Lorenzo Cain. Little bouncer, foul.
Now, when Michael was saying dissolve, he said dissolve B or something. What's that mean?
Well, you notice how it kind of eased from one image to the next. Here comes a dissolve. Ready? Listen. Yeah, that's a dissolve.
Nice.
See?
Subtle.
As opposed to a cut.
Good segue. No?
See? There's a cut right there. Did you see that?
Okay. Quicker.
Kane pops it foul. You know what? As a matter of fact, it's entertaining to listen to Michael Odino direct. He is one of the best in the business.
Right, we know that.
How about we shut up and let's listen to him. So this is Michael Odino directing Brewers baseball.
Take 5. 9. Can you give me marker? Do you see marker? All right, thank you. Ready 1. Take 1. Ready 4. Take 4. Andy, you can come on back. Thank you. Have we ID'd the batter yet? Ready 5, take 5. Do it reluctantly. Somebody at the back. Ready 4, clean. Take 4, clean. Watching 1 for the pick. Ready 9, take 9, 5, head to toe, please. Ready 5, take 5. Ready font 1, at font 1. Somebody lose a font, somebody a little headroom. Lose a font, little headroom, go on now next. Ready 4. Take 4. Okay, can we get on deck, Quinny? Got on deck, Tink. Thank you. Ready 1, take 1, little headroom. Go ahead. You're going to lose it. Ready 5, take 5. Ready 9, take 9. Ready 4. Take 4. Thank you. Ready 5. Keep going. Ready 5, take 5. 1 pitcher. Ready 1, take 1. Somebody replay the green, Roll green. Somebody dissolve red. Roll red, dissolve red. Somebody dissolve yellow. Roll yellow, dissolve yellow. Somebody to 1 on the pitcher. And out to 1. 9, you got batted. Ready 9, take 9. Somebody at the back, reluctantly at the back. Ready 4, clean, take 4, clean. Ready 5, take 5. Somebody key the front, animate. Way to get that Packer jersey in there in the back, Woody. Ready 4, clean. Take 4. Yeah. Yep. Ready 12, clean, no box. And take 2. Ready 12, clean. That's it. Ready 12, take 12. Somebody dissolve 13. And dissolve 13.
Official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin, and by Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. The guts of the truck our behind-the-scenes broadcast tonight. By the way, for exclusive interviews behind the scenes with our crew, visit foxsportswisconsin.com. Click on the Brewers Superfan tab, and you'll get to hear from many of our crew. Great to listen to Michael Odino. He is
he's
truly one of the best directors in all of baseball, and I love listening to him work. We don't get that perspective very often, so that was very entertaining to hear Michael Odino cut the cameras and direct the cameras, direct the game. He gives you all the sights that you need to get.
I thought we talked a lot all night.
That's what he does all night. He does the pregame show, he does the game, he does the postgame show.
Good stuff. Do you think he says thank you to everybody even when he's not on TV?
I think that's his style.
He's just a polite guy.
Very respectful that way.
I like that.
He never really drops by the booth very often, but he does say thank you to the crew. One thing we'll do tonight is we watch Mark Rogers on the mound for his third inning. If we get a sequence, whether we get a run scoring sequence, maybe a home run, we'll record Michael Odino and Chris Withers in the truck, and we'll play it back. And you kind of hear how they put together a replay sequence and how it sounds when it's happening live and how it happens when you get the replays. Fascinating stuff. Now, Bill and I don't hear all of that. We only hear the producer, Chris Withers, by the way. So we do have to talk when somebody's talking to us, but not as much as Michael Odino to his cameraman.
Tells us what's going on, what's coming up.
Full count to Cameron Maben. And down he goes, Mark Rogers with his fourth strikeout. And with more on the second most famous Rogers in Wisconsin, we check in with Drew Olson.
BA, when the Brewers drafted Mark Rogers in 2004, Ben Sheets was the ace of the big league staff, and he was well on his way to a team record 264 strikeout season. That's interesting because prior to tonight in Rogers' outing, Sheets was the most recent #1 pick to make his starting debut for Milwaukee. That was back in 2001.
Been a long time, and this is something that the Brewers have waited for a while. They want to get some of these talented young pitchers to the big leagues, and whether it be injuries in Rogers' case, suspensions in Jeremy Jeffers' case. Hey, Ricky Weeks goes up the ladder. How about that play from Weeks, robbing Ozzie Martinez of a base hit?
Yeah, Martinez hit that one right on the nose, and Ricky timed his jump perfectly and got it in the webbing. Nice play, Ricky Weeks. A bullet from Martinez, and Ricky patient. Didn't jump too soon and got up off the ground and hauled it in. Nice job.
So 2 gone for Rogers. As Rick Peterson is on the phone, down to the bullpen. The pitch count tonight for Rogers is going to be around 60. And he's already at 51. It was a 30-pitch first inning. Hit a batter, walked 2, struck out the side. Rogers will get one more start this season in New York. And you figure he'll have a great chance to break into the starting rotation next year for the Brewers. Could be a big offseason and spring training for Mark Rogers.
Yeah, just nice to have some guys coming from the minor leagues throwing the mid to upper 90s. You got Rogers, you got Jeremy Jeffers. He's been getting it up there at about 98 miles an hour. Axford and Zach Braddock, all with power arms. You get guys throwing that hard, you really don't have to be too fine on the corners all the time. You can make mistakes, still get away with it.
And when you have strikeout ability, swing and miss stuff, you can load the bases with 1 out and get out of it, just like Rogers did in the first, just like John Axford can do. Jeremy Jeffers, all young pitchers coming out of that Brewers minor league system this year. Pushed to the big leagues this year, as a matter of fact, because of necessity. You can understand why Logan Morrison would be skittish up top. He took a foul ball earlier this month as he was in the on-deck circle, and it did a lot of damage.
Made it seem a lot closer than it actually was. He was diving to that outside corner.
Well, full count to Logan Morrison. Amazingly, Morrison was able to continue playing after he took that shot in the on-deck circle. 3-2 pitch. Right off the end of the bat. Cruz ranges over. Just in time to get Morrison. 1-2-3 inning. Rogers impressive. 4 strikeouts, and he's retired 8 straight. Visit Lowe's for a chance to win a VIP World Series experience. Compliments of Scott's. Lush and green, that is the description for Miller Park, with just 2 more home games remaining in the Major League Baseball season after tonight. Luis Cruz will lead off for Milwaukee. In the shallow center, Maven coming in. He lays out, and he's got it. Timed his dive perfectly. 1 away in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, Cruz has been swinging the bat pretty well. Had a couple of hits yesterday. A triple down the left field line. He is about as slick a fielder as we've seen here in the major leagues. I don't care, not just the Brewers, but he's got good soft hands. And I'll tell you, if he hits it all, he's going to be a pretty good player.
Here's Mark Rogers. Down in the count quickly. A diving catch by Maven. It was a very Jim Edmonds-like. Kind of slowed up a little and then made the dive.
Got a slow break. He didn't get off to a very quick start going after that baseball. Those line drives right at him. Kind of froze him for a second.
A little jam shot out to second base. Ugla cannot pick it up. Rogers is safe. That ball came off the grass, hit the dirt, and Ugla whiffed on it.
Yeah, that might be a base hit. Rogers got down that line in pretty good shape. We'll see. Brewers already have an infield hit. That was that Case McGee ground ball down the third baseline. This pitch just eats up Mark Rogers inside. Look at Rogers getting down the line very well. I think it might have been a tough play to get him at first base.
And it will be a base hit, an infield hit, and his first major league hit for Mark Rogers.
He's got to get that baseball.
Yeah, they threw it out.
Oh, they threw it out?
Just in case.
Just in case. Get his first hit or his first error.
And if it was an error, they just throw it right back.
All right, here, take it back.
So, whoops, sorry.
Don't need it.
Well, one of these days, Mark Rogers will tell his grandkids, should have seen my first hit. It was a missile.
It looks like that in the box score.
That's right. Andrew Miller has pitched well. He's given up a hit in every inning, but the last 2 hits, infield hits. That one's off the end of the bat. Long run for Ugla. Cannot get there. Rogers slides into second. He's not going to challenge the arm of Stanton anyway. Back-to-back hits. The Brewers are finding some holes here tonight.
Yeah, Brewers aren't really crushing the baseball tonight against Miller, at least not yet. A seeing-eye base hit in the right field. Both base hits eluding Dan Ugla. Well, first a ground ball from Mark Rogers. That one just out of his reach.
Two on, 1 out. Here's Corey Hart. 96 runs batted in. Looking for that magical 3,100 season. 30 homers, 100 RBIs. That puts you in elite company when you can deliver those kind of numbers. Which is why Albert Pujols doing it 10 consecutive years is off the charts.
No, he's in a class by himself. There aren't many in the history of the game to be able to do what Albert's been doing.
Hart singled his last time up. His batting average up to 282. Been an all-star season for Corey Hart, a career year offensively. That skips away. Actually, it hits Hart. So that caught a piece of Corey Hart's leg. And the bases are going to be loaded here with 1 away for Ryan Braun.
And Davis shifting over. Even the ball bounces and it hits you. It's a hit batter. Just like you can swing at a batted ball, and that's a base hit if you get a hit. That one actually right off the toe, didn't bounce first.
Big spot for Braun here in the third inning. Brewers a chance to start the scoring tonight. Braun hit one sharply last time up, reached on a fielder's choice. A big cut at a breaking ball. Or a fastball, I should say.
Yeah, a little cut on it.
Down and in.
Well, it had a little bit of late movement on it. In on the hands for Braun. He comes up empty. That's a big hack. Looks like that elbow feels pretty good.
Rogers, Weeks, and Hart on the bags. 2 hits and a hit batter. Fielder looms large next. Last night, Weeks and Fielder went back to back. Ricky Weeks occupying the 3-hole last night in the absence of Ryan Braun. Bouncing ball bounces over Gabby Sanchez. Rogers scores. Here comes Weeks. He'll score. Throw to third, and they've got another one. Mike Stanton guns down another base runner at third base.
I thought the Brewers learned their lesson last night. A very good throw by Mike Stanton. A lot on it. Ronnie hit that one right on the nose. A tricky hop that got by Sanchez, and for some reason Corey Hart elected to go to third base. That wasn't even close. A good piece of hitting by Brawny. That's just a good hitter going after a 2-strike pitch. Gets on top of the high fastball. And another terrific throw out there in right field by Mike Stanton.
So Rogers and Weeks score. 2-0 Brewers. RBIs number 94 and 95 for Ryan Braun. Stanton has another outfield assist. This fielder fouls one away. 2 men are out now. Braun is at first. And Prince trying to keep the inning alive.
A good hitter, doing exactly what he had to do in this situation. Bases loaded. He had 2 strikes. He shortened his swing and just punched it into right field. Take what they give you. That's what hitting's all about. You can't try and pull that ball. Can't try to hit it out of the ballpark. And Ryan put a nice swing on it.
Ball took a funny hop over the head of Gabby Sanchez. This fielder cuts and misses. Down he goes on strikes. The inning is over, but the Brewers come up with 2 runs on 3 hits. Ryan Braun drives in a pair to give the Crew the lead.
Out to Fan Appreciation Weekend at Miller Park. You got 2 games left. You might see somebody hit for the cycle, and you might get to drive home on a Harley-Davidson motorcycle. That's part of the excitement of Fan Appreciation Weekend. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com today.
Fan Appreciation Weekend. We're looking forward to having you here at the ballpark. As you see, Mark Rogers, and he is done for the night, Rock, after his plate appearance and his runs scored, his first major league hit. Rogers exits this game after 3 innings. It was a wild one in the first. Hit batter and 2 walks, but he struck out the side in the first inning. And he finishes this game retiring the final 8 batters he faced.
Man, looked very good. Again, you know, he had a rough first inning, 30 pitches. That's why he was only able to get through 3. 3 innings. The Brewers are looking for 4, maybe 5 if they were lucky. So a pretty good start, you know, to his major league starting career for Mark Rogers, if that makes any sense.
Perfect sense.
And Jeremy Jeffress on now for the 8th time. You know, we talked about all these string of long starts for the Brewers, getting deep into games. This is where that's going to pay off. I mean, the bullpen well rested, and Jeffress first out of the pen tonight.
So back-to-back first rounders for the Brewers on display here in front of the home fans, and certainly these are the 2 names, Jeffress and Mark Rogers, that fans know most about because of their trail through the minor leagues. Both have had their treks to the big leagues delayed, but they're finally here.
I have a sneaking suspicion that Mark Rogers is going to sleep well tonight. I bet he was grinding over this start for a couple of days, maybe longer.
Yeah, he went 10 days between outings on the major league mound. And he'll get another start in New York.
How do you take him out with a no-hitter?
Now we're into spring training mode here, where it's going to be bullpen by committee the rest of the way. They'll piece it together.
Most effective guy out of the bullpen will get the win.
You never know. We'll see how long they can keep it going. Ugla sends one right field that slices in the seats.
And One A Day Men's, the official multivitamin of Major League Baseball, challenges you to step up to the plate for your health. Visit AskMLBTrainer.com to get One A Day health tips from Brewers head athletic trainer Roger Caplinger. One of the best in the business, Roger.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Ugla. In the air, center field. Lorenzo Cain, plenty of room. And 1 out in the 4th inning. Remember, it was the Florida Marlins who were no-hit by Roy Halladay. It's actually a perfect game for Halladay earlier this year. 1 of 5 no-hitters in the big leagues this season. Felix Hernandez came close recently with the Seattle Mariners, giving up a hit in the 9th inning to the Texas Rangers.
There's been a lot of near misses too.
The most publicized near miss, Armando Galarraga, the Detroit Tigers. He was 1 out away from a perfect game. Looked like he made the play at first base. Put Jim Joyce on the map. No umpire wants to be famous, trust me. Jim Joyce was that day.
And Jim Joyce appreciates you bringing it up, I'm sure.
I like the story that followed after that.
That was
the
a nice
bit of
story.
sportsmanship.
Yep.
We were in Miami when that happened.
Right.
I remember watching that game from the booth in the Marlins home park, Sun Life Stadium.
And thank you for reminding us. You know, I'm going to say thank you more in the broadcast because of Odino.
Michael Odino.
That was impressive, all the thank yous there. I like it.
Thank you, Rob.
You're welcome, Brian.
The 1-2 from Jeffress, fouled away. You see the velocity of Jeremy Jeffress as fast as 97.
Curveball at 76.
Lost in thought, Mark Rogers. Little bouncer. McGee sets himself. Fires in time for the out. 2 gone. AT&T Trivia tonight. Who are the 5 second basemen in MLB history to hit 30 or more homers in 3 seasons? 30 or more home runs in 3 seasons. Dan Uggla is the only one to do it in 4 consecutive seasons with his 31 homers this year. But there were 3 others who did it in 3 seasons. Thank you, Rock. Thank you, Graphics.
Do you have the answer?
Thank you, B-Mick.
They usually give you the answer.
They don't give me the answer.
Oh, yeah. I know. As they watch, me grind away and trying to think about it on that camera up here, laughing. As I get on my computer and trying to figure out the answer. See?
Busted.
Some people think that I know these things off the top of my head. Now I'm done. I'm exposed.
What camera is this, Dino? 12? 12. Sometimes 12 gets moved. Sometimes we just do this.
And I'm still in the shot.
Then we move it back. There's a strike from Jeffress. It's our behind-the-scenes broadcast tonight. You can log on to the web at foxsportswisconsin.com. Click on the Superfan tab and find out more. Kind of tap it into the truck every now and then to hear the sounds. There's a base hit to right. So Chad Tracy, 3 hits in this series. And a 2-out single, and the no-hitter is lost, Rock, here in the 4th.
Now, turned around a 96-mile-an-hour fastball because it was a 3-1 pitch. Hitters sitting back, they know the fastball's coming. It really doesn't matter how hard you throw it. It's that element of doubt. You get ahead in the count, they don't know if it's going to be a curveball or a fastball. That's when you can sneak that 96 right by them. Not when they're looking for it. And I think that's going to be the biggest challenge for both Rogers and Jeffress as they get to the major leagues. And that's a good pitch right there. First pitch curveball. That will keep them guessing.
That works at any level.
Right. Now they don't know what's coming.
Jeffress, the Brewers' first pick in 06, 2 years after Mark Rogers. Boy, that had something on it, too. 94, but had a little movement away from the right-handed batter, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, down and away, right on the corner.
Strike call. Inning over. Jeffress rings him up. We hear Chris Weathers on the way out.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, break.
making his first major league start. A little bit shaky early, loaded the bases, but he ended up with 4 strikeouts, retired the last 8 batters that he faced, and Ryan Braun puts 2 runs on the board for the Brewers in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Our cousin Subs game reset.
Friday night here at Milwaukee. Roof is closed tonight. The panels are open. It's a cool night here in Brewtown tonight. After a big front move through, boy, the wind was howling all day long and all night last night.
Notice the trees are starting to turn. Get some colors out. It's going to be fall, isn't it?
It's going to be an early,
happened quick.
An early change of seasons here. I've been told that we're going to have an early winter. We're going to have a lot of snow this winter.
Really?
Yeah. That's what my bunions are telling me.
And who told you that?
I can't reveal my sources, Rock, but it was a pretty good one. There's a base hit. Casey McGee with his 2nd hit. And a leadoff base runner for the Brewers in the 4th. Speaking of the wind and the roof, we check in with Drew Olson.
Well, B.A., before the game, I talked to groundskeeper Gary Vandenberg about that situation. He said he would have liked to have had the roof open today, get some sun on the grass, but it was too windy last night, and it's a hazard to open it when it's blowing that heavily. And when the roof, at the height that this roof is, it's especially windy. You got to consider that. He also told me that the grass and everything is looking really good, and he's not too worried about Farm Aid October 2nd.
That's right. Going to have a big concert in here on October 2nd. The magic number for wind speed is 25 miles per hour. If the wind is above 25, they cannot open or close the roof. You know, it has to stay where it is. Mm-hmm. So they had to make an early call today to keep that roof closed. And that's why the panels are open and the roof is closed up tonight. Comfortable inside Miller Park. That's the option you have. That's why it's one of the great ballparks in the world.
Yeah, keep everybody warm. Why not? You have it, use it.
I love this stadium. We had a chance to walk around it yesterday on the way to our crew party, and it's not a perspective we get a lot. You know, we go to the field, up through the concourse, back behind home plate, up to the booth, but to be able to walk around the entire stadium and just take it all in, it's such a special place. It really is.
Not a bad seat in the house. Everywhere you look, from the concourses all around the decks, and they have a good view of the game.
The Marlins are anxious to open their new stadium in 2012. It'll be similar to Miller Park. The roof will be a little different. It'll be a sliding roof, much like in Houston. But they'll have an air-conditioned, retractable roof stadium on the side of the old Orange Bowl in Miami. So that'll change things for the Marlins. It'll be fun to go there, not have to deal with all the rain and the heat.
Yeah, unbelievable humidity and the heat there in South Florida. They don't have day games during the summer because of that heat. Rains just about every day down there in Miami.
Inside, almost hit Kane. The Brewers lead 2-0. It was Ryan Braun driving in a pair in the 3rd inning with 1 out. Lorenzo Cain struck out his last time up. That one is popped up to second. Ugla wants it. And the first out of the 4th inning. So our AT&T trivia tonight: who are the 5 second basemen in MLB history to hit 30 or more homers in 3 seasons? Dan Ugla's on that list for 4, but Rogers Hornsby, the great second baseman of the Cardinals, the Gas House Gang, Jeff Kent, Alfonso Soriano, and Chase Utley. Dan Ugla, Chase Utley, Ricky Weeks, the premier power hitting second baseman in the major leagues now, internationally.
Yeah, that's a lot of home runs, isn't it, for Rogers Hornsby back in those days? Wow.
Raja.
For a second baseman.
He hit 400.
Yeah.
Rogers Hornsby did. It was part of those great Cardinals teams. Rogers Hornsby, a Hall of Famer. Sure, you know he's a Texan, right?
I didn't know that. Thank you, though, for telling me.
You're welcome. Lucroy in the left field. Back is Morrison. And a second out. Hornsby had a .400 batting average. Matter of fact, he hit .400 3 times in his career. Back in the 20s. That's something we probably won't see again, right?
Right.
As a right-handed batter, too. Hornsby hit .424.
Back in the 20s, to hit a second baseman to hit 30 homers. Goodness.
Well, one season, Hornsby, check these numbers, Rob. And he didn't even win MVP this particular year, right? So he hit .401 with 42 home runs, and he drove in 152. And that was in a 154-game season.
What year was that?
That was 1922. The year he had .424, it was 1924. Cruz down on the count, a ball and 2 strikes. Now we're wondering if we'll ever see a Triple Crown again. Hasn't been one of the National League since 1937. As Cruz strikes out and the inning is over. So leadoff single, McGee left stranded.
Behind the scenes broadcast. I'm here on the third base side with cameraman Dan Quinn, a 21-year veteran behind the camera here, and also the crew leader. Now, Dan, Michael Odino told us earlier in the broadcast that there are 16 cameras on each broadcast. Where are they located?
Well, 16 cameras. We have like 9-man cameras. We have a high home camera. Well, this camera, high home he's on right now. That follows the ball when the ball is hit. This is that was our super slow-mo. Camera 3, that's camera 4. Tough to keep up. Camera 5 there, that's low first. Back to camera 4.
He's just messing with you. Now, you move around all over. Yeah, you move around all over the ballpark. Where's your favorite place to shoot a game?
I have a lot of cameras that I like to do. The Super Mo is a tight follow, but Andy Stieber runs that, and he does such a great job of it that it's tough to get him off of that one. High home, Ryan Rosado's kind of taking that one over. He's very good at it, but I kind of like this camera. I get to interact with fans, stay busy, game kind of goes a little quicker.
What's your most famous shot from a game at Miller Park?
Famous shot? Probably Ryan Braun's home run to clinch it against the Pirates.
That's pretty memorable. I remember that one. Now
For the champagne shower that day.
Now, Dan, when you guys aren't shooting the action on the field, you're shooting a lot of crowd action. What's the most crazy thing you've seen a fan do in the stands?
Well, there's been quite a few. Some I can't say on TV, but I do remember at County Stadium, the backdrop, the netting behind the home plate, used to go up towards the loge, and a fan tried climbing the cable on it, and we had like a 20-minute delay to wait for the fan to come down. You probably remember that from the County Stadium days.
I would ask you what the craziest thing you've seen Bill Schroeder do, but we don't have enough time left in the game to cover that. Rock, PA, I got to let Dan Quinn get back to work.
Yeah, no kid, we're a camera down, man. And Dan Quinn, they call him Quinny.
Yep. The leader of the pack.
Yep. He's kind of like, the umpire's version of the crew chief. There he is. And I've noticed some of Dan's shots as he gets older. He's in his third decade now, and starting to get slightly out of focus.
These glasses?
Yeah, a little bit. There he is, see? Jeremy Jeffress delivers one outside. Yeah, we had our crew party last night. It's always great to acknowledge those who are behind the scenes. That's why we wanted to put this broadcast together and let the fans at home see that it's more than just BA and Rock.
We actually do very little.
After seeing all that.
Yeah, I mean, really. I mean, think about it. I mean, these guys and girls, they get here at, 2 o'clock?
There's Woody.
We had a time line up on for the pregame show. 2 o'clock, and we kind of roll in and start hanging around the batting cage at about 3:30, 4 o'clock. Yeah, a lot of work to be done to get Brewers baseball on the air.
And the sights and the sounds of ball games here at Miller Park as Jeffress picks up another strikeout. Yeah, our production schedule. This was what was posted outside the truck. This is kind of what the day looks like for the crew. They're in here at 2 o'clock. And the lunch is very important, by the way. The 4:30 lunch. They say that lunch only lasts an hour, but I'm not sure that's true.
Yeah, well, I've gotten in here early, and lunch has started much earlier than that. Not for everybody. Not for Andy, of course.
Andy is running the Foxmo, the super slow-mo camera that gives you all the great images. Rizzo, he's a man that follows the baseball when it's put in play. High home. He gets to sit down on the job. A little broken bat into center field. And 2 men are out. It's one of my favorite television inventions, the Foxmo, the super slow-mo. And this is, check out the arm of Jeremy Jeffress.
Look at the way he balances on that back leg, the high leg kick, getting that momentum toward home plate, and see how well everything works together when everything's slowed down, and the balance point on that back leg. That's a good teaching tool, that Foxmo.
You got to have some talent to run that camera, because all your blemishes show up.
Can't shake.
Don't shake. You got to keep everything in the frame. That camera is so good. It is so sharp that you can actually see the laces on the baseball as it spins to the plate. Two outs for Jeffress. Carlos Gomez and Alcides Escobar talking it out. That's a common scene.
It's too bad they don't have a good time at the ballpark. Those two have the best time every day. That's the scene you see every day with those two guys.
Hours and hours of chatter just like that. Talking baseball.
Hey, just hope they don't room together at home, because they never get any sleep. Fall asleep talking.
3-1 pitch, and it is up high, ball 4. So a 2-out walk issued by Jeffress. the first walk given up by Jeffress, pitching in his second inning. Given up a hit and a walk with 2 strikeouts. And out to the mound goes Lucroy. He'll be joined by Rick Peterson. Well, we have a text question going this week. We'd love to hear from you, get your thoughts. It's all courtesy of U.S. Cellular, and we want to know who is the Brewers MVP this season. You can text your vote to 234-234. Weeks, McGee, Axford, or Hart. Just text the corresponding letter. Eric West, Chief Audio, making all of it sound good, bringing all the great sounds of Miller Park into your living room.
Best we get all year.
That is a hard job.
How about that pick by Jonathan Lucroy? Fastball at about 50 feet.
Scooped it like a first baseman.
Hey, you throw the glove out there, sometimes you get lucky.
Close your eyes, put your arm up, and catch it. Those falling behind 2-0 on Ozzie Martinez. 2-0 Brewers here in the Florida 5th inning. That's what's impressive about Eric West. Do you notice Jeffress throws the ball to first? There's a microphone over there.
Right.
Eric brings up that microphone. You hear fielder catch the ball.
And it's subtleties that make the broadcast good.
Which one's Mike's or Rock's mic there, Eric? You can go ahead and bring him down. Let's take him down. There you go. You're done.
That's some of my best work, though. He missed it.
4 straight out of the zone. And back-to-back walks issued by Jeremy Jeffress.
Yeah, 2 outs and nobody on, back-to-back walks, and nothing really that close with Martinez at the plate. Starting to rush the delivery just a little bit. Action down there in the Brewers bullpen.
Mike McClendon. There's a mic down there as well that Eric just brought up.
Makes you feel like you're in the bullpen. Good stuff.
That's the one. They're always listening. Logan Morrison with 2 away. Morrison is 0 for 2. Lucroy again to the mound. Just a reminder, our behind-the-scenes broadcast tonight. For exclusive interviews behind the scenes with our crew, you can visit foxsportswisconsin.com. Click on the Brewers Superfan tab. Don't touch anything in there. That's the rule.
And you certainly wouldn't want to spill anything in there.
No drinks allowed.
No drinks allowed, no food allowed. Well, you can create problems by dropping some coffee in there.
Jeffress having a hard time throwing strikes. Could be his last hitter. Logan Morrison trying to extend his consecutive game streak, where he's reached base safely. It's at 42. And there's ball 3. Well, in the major leagues, Mark Teixeira with the longest streak. He and Morrison tied now at 42. Joey Votto, 41 earlier this season. Josh Hamilton, Evan Longoria on that list as well. Looks like Hamilton's going to win a batting title. Don't expect him to play much the rest of the season. Although he has broken ribs, he cortisone shot. He might be able to return by the end of the season, the last couple of days, and that'll lead him up to the postseason.
Yeah, Tech's going to have a tough time advancing too deep in the playoffs without him.
3 balls and a strike. And a bouncer to Prince. Jeffress covers. Side retired. So a scoreless inning for Jeffress. 2-0. The Brewers have the lead. On Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by the Wisconsin Lottery and its family of instant scratch games. Odds are you'll like them. By Airtran. Go, there's nothing stopping you. And by GMC. We are professional grade. Good crowd tonight on hand at Miller Park. Friday night baseball. And the final Friday of the season here at Miller Park. As the home schedule wraps up, and another prized prospect coming up for the minor league system. Matt Gamble will pinch hit to start this 5th inning. I think it's fun to see these guys come to the big leagues. You know, we've seen Gamble the last couple of years, but Jefferson, Rogers, Gamble, we hear these names. Now you get a chance to see them, and hopefully Gamble can start to feel comfortable at the plate. He had a shoulder injury this spring, and it knocked him out for a couple of months.
Yeah, Gamble had a shot and chance to make the ball club had he been healthy in spring training, but that wasn't the case. But he went, once he got back, he played pretty well down in the minor leagues, hit over 300. Big run producer down in the minor leagues, so you never know. Maybe next year's the year for Matty.
Got to start in left field last night. So they're starting to think about Gamble as an outfielder. At least give him some versatility. And a swing and a miss. Miller strikes him out. That's our behind the scenes broadcast, and one of the things we do, and we get questions about this all the time, and you know, we listen to the producer and director, but we have this box here. This is how we communicate with them, that if we want to talk to these guys, there's Chris Withers, our producer, so we hit this button and say, "Hello, Chris."
Hello, BA.
And then you didn't hear that on the air, and then usually I say, "Stop yelling at me, Chris." And Chris counts down. He says, "Why do I bother?" We also have the Bill Schroeder button. That's known as the cough button. They have to say that again.
Push.
It's the Bill Schroeder button. Let me just get this camera straight. There we go. So that's kind of how we communicate with a truck, so you don't hear it at home. We might have a question. Chris Withers is good about, adding to a story, or if we're bothering him in some way, he'll say wrap it up. And he has his format in front of him, all of his notes.
See, now I don't use the talkback too often. You know, I don't have a whole lot to say to those guys because, you know, there's a lot going on down there. I feel as though I'm just bothering them when I'm talking to them. You, however, I see you on that talkback all the time, especially when I'm saying something on the broadcast.
That's true. As Weeks draws the walk. See, now Chris just told Bill to do Tavern of the Game.
Tavern of the Game, and I have a card here that Chris very nicely types out for me. And tonight's Tavern of the Game winner is Timeout Sports Bar and Grill in Wisconsin Rapids. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 tickets to a 2011 April or May Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. Now, on the card, it actually says a 2010 Brewers home game.
Oh, you ad-libbed.
I left that out because I don't think there's much chance of that.
It's going. So that was actually a nice catch. Now, that'd be an instant where Rock would get on the talkback and say, he'd say, come on.
2010, there's no chance. There's 2 games left.
See? That's how it works. So, almost a producer error. No, Chris Withers, he's as good as it gets. Produces a fine game down there. But there's a lot of conversation. I know fans ask a lot about, you know, the conversation that goes on. People who come up here and visit the booth. We have some booth visitors here right now. They're amazed at how much chatter there is on the air, but off the air too, in the talkback. And we're, you know, when Rock is usually offering analysis after a big play, I'm usually in talkback asking Chris or Michael what the sequence is or how we're going to go to commercial or what have you. So then I'm ready. But every now and then, you might say something, Rock might say something that I didn't hear because I was talking to the producer. So
and then you say it right after me.
Then I say it right after me. That's kind of how it works. So, you know, we're not perfect.
Well, you definitely have the hardest job in the booth.
I don't know about that.
There's a lot going on in your seat.
Corey Hart draws the walk.
I just sit here having a good time as an old ball player talking about the game. And you got to navigate the whole show through on the air, get in and out of breaks. You know, I do try and help you out once in a while to do promos and do a game reset. You notice I always do the game reset that doesn't take as long. You know, the first one in the third
first
inning.
one, the Cousins.
Right.
You're looking at the Fox box. That's or pitch tracks. I beg your pardon. The Fox tracks. That's where you see the pitches and where they are in the strike zone. FoxSportsWisconsin.com. That'll be another thing that Chris Withers would tell us. Here's a replay with Fox tracks. So Bill can then make fun of the umpires for getting the calls wrong. That's a Wisconsin company, by the way, produces the Fox tracks.
Umpires must love that on the broadcast every single night, every game in Major League Baseball. There are thousands and thousands of people looking over their shoulder.
There's a called strike.
Not an easy job that they have, the umpires. I'll be the first to acknowledge that. I was back there behind home plate watching those guys work. It's not easy.
So that was a called strike. And it was in the Fox tracks zone. It's basically the same technology the umpires have for after their games. As Braun goes into left field, that's going to go to the wall. Ricky Weeks will score. Hart will stop at third base. Braun drives in another one. He's driven in 3. 3-0 Milwaukee as Ryan Braun now has 96 runs batted in.
Well, an absolute rocket down the left field line, and certainly no ill effects of that hit by pitch on that elbow. 43rd double for Brawny, and inches his way closer to that 100 RBI plateau. Fastball down and in by Miller. And look at Brawny. I mean, nothing wrong with that elbow. That lead elbow, that's the one that gets the bat through the zone. And if you have any problems with that elbow, it's going to be that fastball in. It's going to give you problems.
So back-to-back walks with 1 out, and Braun drives in Ricky Weeks. Weeks scoring his 2nd run. That pushes him over 100 runs scored as a leadoff hitter this year. So another milestone met for Ricky Weeks. And now Braun staring at an opportunity at 100 RBIs this season. He's 5 away. Second and third, 1 out for Fielder. Little flare, left field, falling fast. That is going to fall for a base hit. And Hart will score. So Prince Fielder adds to the lead. It is 4-0 Milwaukee.
I'll tell you, Morrison doesn't have very good instincts out there in left field. That looked like a ball that he had a chance to catch. He gave up on that way too early. We saw a little bit of inexperience in last night's ball game with that Luis Cruz triple. But this ball, you would think that off the bat and where he was playing, he might have had a play for this ball, but he gave up on it. He stopped. You couldn't see him stop, but then still try to throw into home plate. A base hit and an RBI for Prince.
And we are going to have a pitching change here. So Edwin Rodriguez will make the change. The Brewers lead 4-0. Stay with us. Fielder deliver the RBIs, and it's our behind-the-scenes broadcast tonight. So let's take you back to the Braun RBI base hit, and let's let you hear it from the Chuck's perspective, as they called it.
You're going to score. Ready two. Take two. 5 runner at third. Ready 5. Take 5. Ready 1. Take 1.
Yellow. We're going to go real time blue. Back it up. Green and red.
Ready 1. Take 1.
Gold real time as well. We'll start with green. Back it up on green, Danny.
Ready 1. Absolute rocket down the left
take
field
1.
line. And
ready font 1. At font 1. What are we doing?
Green first.
Lose the font. Somebody replay to green. Go back to green. Roll green.
Red's next.
Some dissolve red. Roll red. Dissolve red.
Blue's next. Real time.
Dissolve blue. Roll blue. Dissolve blue. Track blue.
Nice, and that's the dance they do. Michael Odino and Chris Withers. That's great stuff, guys.
A lot going on. That's not easy. On the fly, not a whole lot of time to make a decision as to what you want to do in that truck, and that's a special treat to be able to watch that.
New pitcher is Jorge Sosa in relief of Andrew Miller. So the Brewers have a couple of runs in here. Braun's driven in 3 tonight. Meanwhile, Brewer pitching, Mark Rogers and Jeremy Jeffress have combined to allow just 1 hit and working on a 1-hit shutout through 5 innings. First and third for Casey McGee, sitting on 99 RBIs. One more stake, as they'd say, to triple digits. Corey Hart with 96. Got Braun now climbing the ladder as well. Braun with 3 tonight gives him 96 RBIs as well. And you figure there has to be something extra for a hitter to know that he's sitting on 99 RBIs. With a runner at third base and 1 out, this is an RBI spot for Casey McGee.
And this is ordinarily when you see Casey go to right field. Sosa's first 2 pitches, sliders away.
And a pop-up. Ugla drifting back. And he'll make the catch for the out. Braun bluffs, then stops. So Casey leaves one out there.
High fastball. That's a pitch that Casey handles pretty well. An 0-2 pitch. Tried to get on top of it. Shooting at the right field. Just got underneath. They'll have to wait another at bat.
Now 2 gone, and it's Lorenzo Cain. And there's a strike to Cain. Lorenzo is 0 for 2. Struck out his first time up. Had a pop-up back in the 4th inning. 4-0 Milwaukee. Marlins came in here a game over 500, 76 and 75. Brewers beat them last night. The Brewers need to win out to have a 500 season. They have to win their last 10 games. Never know, could happen.
You can't do that unless you win tonight. Take it one day at a time. Unlikely, but not impossible.
Brewers are 71 and 81. Up next, it'll be the Mets 4-game series at Citi Field in New York, and then to Cincinnati, the last 3 games of the regular season. Season ends October 3rd, which is a Sunday.
Mets have scuffled. They've lost 5 straight. 4 games under 500. Mets are in the race there for a while. They just bottom fell out of the New York Mets. 14 games over 500. They played well at home this year.
Devastating news on their ace, as Cain sends one to left field, backing up Morrison, still going, and he's got room. He'll make the catch for the out. The inning is over. The Brewers get a pair, though, and they lead 4-0. And this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Milwaukee Brewers. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent Brian Mikulajic and the Milwaukee Brewers. Mike McClendon on the mound. Some of the young arms keep rolling out there for Ken Maka tonight. Mark Rogers started, went 3 no-hit innings. Jeremy Jeffress 2 innings, allowing 1 hit. And now McClendon will get his shot against the Marlins.
Now a couple of power pitchers in for the first 5 innings, and you get a sinker bowler and a slider pitcher in Mike McClendon. McClendon will very rarely hit 90 after 2 pitchers that were in the upper 90s with their fastball.
Facing Dan Uggla here in the 6th inning. McClendon has been in the news a little bit, especially with the Reds in town, about his it's not, I want to call it a quick pitch. It's not a quick pitch because quick pitch is illegal as Uggla flies out to left field.
It's a slide step out of the windup.
That's a good way to put it. I was
looking for
it.
That's exactly what it is.
Which is very rare. I've never seen it until McClendon did it. And you know, to describe it as a quick pitch would insinuate that it's illegal. It's not. And the Reds had questions about it. And Mike McClendon actually takes a little extra time to make sure the batter is set before he delivers a pitch.
A quick pitch is basically starting your windup and throwing the ball to home plate before the hitter's ready. You can't do that. That's a quick pitch. Umpires won't allow it. They'll call time and it would be a no pitch. What he does, he just quickens his delivery to home plate. They do it in a stretch. You're allowed to do a slide step, quicken your delivery when there's a man on base. Why can't you do it in a windup?
I like the way you put that, though. It's a slide step from the windup. And it does disrupt the hitter's timing, and that's really the name of the game, but it's not an illegal pitch. There it is right there. And a swing and a miss. He uses it a lot with 2 strikes, and it has been a very effective tool for him, even though hitters by this point know it's coming.
Yeah, and you wonder why more pitchers don't use it. It's because when you speed up your lower half, a lot of times your arm will drag and you end up hanging pitches up in the strike zone. You lose your mechanics and you can't throw strikes. McClendon has a way to be able to do it.
And McClendon struck out Scott Rowland against Cincinnati in the last series. Rowland complained. The home plate umpire at the time put the Brewers and McClendon on alert, and that brought Ken Mock out for a minute for an argument, and they were right because it's not a quick pitch. So good for McClendon for sticking with it and being able to succeed throwing this way. Kind of gives him a unique tool that I'm sure if he has success with it and continues to go along, you're going to see more and more of it.
And when a hitter sees that for the first time, it kind of puts a little bit of panic into their mind. I mean, they quicken everything up. When the pitcher quickens up, the hitter feels as though he needs to do the same. When you don't throw hard, you need to take every advantage that you can. McClendon is quickening up that delivery and surprising the hitter with it. Nothing wrong with it.
It'll bounce a foul from Tracy.
But you notice he doesn't do it when he's behind an account. On the left is normal delivery. The high leg kick, everything collects itself, and then he goes to home plate. On the right, he starts out the same way, but then all of a sudden he doesn't use that high leg kick, and he just goes to home plate. It's a slide step from a windup.
I think it's great. Gives him a little presence on the mound. And they'll ask if he went. Yes, he did, says Dan Isonia. And Tracy is rung up. McClendon, a 3-up, 3-down inning with a couple of Ks. This 4-game series. Mark Rogers making his first major league start here tonight. He went 3 innings. He was on a strict pitch count. 3 scoreless, hitless innings. Ryan Braun put the Crew on the board with a 2 RBI single in the 3rd inning. And then it was Braun again in the 5th. Gave the Brewers a 3-0 lead. Braun now with 96 RBIs. Fielder followed with an RBI single to left. And it's 4-0 Milwaukee. Brewer pitching has combined for 6 innings of 1-hit shutout baseball. Rogers went 3, Jeffress 2, and McClendon coming off a 3 of 3 down 6th. The only hit was Chad Tracy's single off Jeremy Jeffress in the 4th. Jeffress struck out 2 in his scoreless 2 innings. Did issue 2 walks to go along with 2 strikeouts. Mark Rogers 3 scoreless, no hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, 56 pitches.
Got to feel good the way those 2 guys handled themselves tonight. Rogers able to shake off a rough start in the 1st inning. A couple of strikeouts to end the inning. So Rogers and Jeffress looking pretty good tonight. It's going to be a very interesting offseason for the Brewers and Doug Melvin. How much do you figure they're going to rely on Jefferson and Rogers going into next year? That will be the question.
Well, the rookie wrecking crew tonight. Rogers, Jeffress, and McClendon. Rogers and Jeffress have the big velocity. Mark Rogers topped out at 96 miles an hour. Jeffress tonight topped out at 97. And McClendon in the low 90s, but he throws strikes, good command pitcher, and has the slide step from the windup. So they've been fun to watch tonight against a good hitting club, the Florida Marlins. Luis Cruz lined out his first time up, struck out his last time up. Slick fielding shortstop Luis Cruz. And he rolls one out to the shortstop, Ozzie Martinez. 2 outs. Right now on FoxSportsWisconsin.com, you can view exclusive behind-the-scenes interviews with the folks who bring you Brewers baseball each and every night right here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. While you're there, you can also get the latest news on the Badgers, the Packers, and the Brew Crew. It's all just one click away, FoxSportsWisconsin.com. The Fox Box, young Ryan keeping the balls and strikes and the score all together.
He's got water there.
Careful with that water. Also known as the bug. It's been a revolution in TV that has been welcomed. You always know the score. You turn the game on and you got the count, 2-0, 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th.
Base runners on. It's awesome.
McClendon's going to get an at bat here. His 2nd big league at bat. Two balls and a strike on McClendon. Now Mark Rogers delivered his first major league hit tonight. An infield hit in the 3rd inning. Rogers would later score the first Brewers run. Bouncing ball. There it is. A base hit. McClendon with a base hit to left.
These pitchers are something else, aren't they?
His first major league hit. I'm chuckling because that was clearly a hit into left field, right?
Yeah.
But McClendon put his head down, was running through the bag. He was taking no chances. He never even saw it. He put his head down and went straight through the bag.
Yep, you got to enjoy it, Mike. You're not going to get that many working out of the bullpen. Watch it roll into left field, take a nice turn, and give Eddie Cedar a high five.
Most hitters on a base hit like that, they'll peel off, start to round first base. Not McClendon. He was going for the finish line. Look at him. I can make it. Oh, okay. I got it. Gonna leg one out.
That'll work on the style points.
So a couple of major league first here tonight with Mark Rogers and Mike McClendon, their first major league hits. Dale Swaim and Carlos Gomez having a chuckle about that. Good hustle. Well, I guess it's par for the course because back in the third inning, Ricky Weeks singled to right, and Mark Rogers, who was at first, he slid into second base.
A nice pop-up slide.
It was. It was a nice slide.
Beautiful slide.
One of the best. Weeks draws a walk. The 2 on with 1 out. And here comes Corey Hart. Hart has been on base all 3 times tonight. Has a single, he was hit by a pitch, and he walked and scored in the 5th. The Brewers have out-hit Florida 9-1 at this point. Count evens at a ball and a strike.
And Sosa's got that live arm. He just, kind of brings that arm behind his back, and kind of that high 3/4 just slings it out of there. And it appears to be tough to pick up for right-handers. He's got that slider to go with the fastball.
Enigma would be the best word to describe Jorge Sosa.
Yeah, just command, can't throw strikes, getting too much to the plate, hanging that slider, and he would not be the first to have that issue.
Corey Hart at the plate, presented by Wendy's. Back in 2005, Jorge Sosa led all of baseball in winning percentage. He was pitching for the Atlanta Braves, and he was 13-3 and a 2.55 ERA.
He won a game against the Brewers, his first win of the year, through 1 pitch. Got a win. That was back when the Brewers were in Florida.
Big cut and a miss. Threw him a 3-1 breaking ball. Hard looking for the fastball, and count is full.
Man, he throws a lot of sliders. Tough pitch on the arm. A lot of pressure on that elbow. Just throws one after the other.
Get in my belly. Hard rolls one to third, and Tracy will make the play for the out. The inning is over. We are on our way to the 7th. Light, taste greatness. And by Toyota, thank you for standing by us. For more information, visit buyatoyota.com. And our Miller Lite, what's on tap? Tomorrow it's the Marlins. Sunday it's the Marlins. The last two games of the regular season of the home schedule in 2010. Note that tomorrow we're on WMLW. Monday the Brewers are in New York at Citi Field to play the Mets. Michael Odino, our director. Steve Collins. As Michael says, pushing the shiny buttons. He's our technical director tonight. So Michael Odino tells him what button to push. He pushes that button or tells him what he wants, and then it shows up on TV. It's amazing. How does he do it? Michael Odino's kind of blowing up, actually, on the blogs and on the emails. Kind of been the star of the show tonight, I think.
A rock star now, isn't he?
He deserves that kind of treatment. Line drive, base hit. Kane able to cut it off. Stand on his way to second. Here's the throw, and it's off the mark. Stand in there with a hustle double.
Kind of a risky move, down by 4 runs, but the throw off the mark. Had it been on the money, they would have had him. Yeah, a little bit more of a risky move than he should have probably taken. 21st double of the year for Stanton. Boy, he hits the ball hard. Ball jumps off his bat. Nice easy swing that time. We've seen him take that nice easy swing where the ball jumps off his bat, and we've seen him quite a bit in this series over swing too hard. Good throw gets him. Not a good idea to take second base, or at least try it. Not down by 4 runs. But you like the hustle.
Well, if Kane doesn't cut it off, Stanton is at third base with his speed. Runner at second. McClendon back out there for his second inning of work. And Brad Davis is the batter. I've been keeping an eye on this Boston New York game. Red Sox Yankees. You been watching that at all?
Tonight?
As best you can.
I can't say I have been.
It was 10-1 Boston in the 5th inning. It is now 10-8 Boston in the bottom of the 9th. The Yankees are still batting, and they are now bringing the tying run to the plate. That looked like a done deal. Ton of home runs. Teixeira's hit 2 tonight. Alex Rodriguez has hit 2. Nick Swisher, Curtis Granderson, they've all homered. Brett Lowry and Bill Hall homering for the Red Sox. Billy Hall with 18 home runs this year.
He's had a nice year. A lot of injuries for the Red Sox. Billy's been getting a lot of playing time. Red Sox now with over 200 home runs. They joined the Toronto Blue Jays. The only 2 teams in baseball with over 200 homers.
Berg Badenhop is getting ready in the bullpen for the Marlins. Saw him yesterday. Got some showdown games going on tonight in the big leagues. San Francisco at Colorado. Contending teams. The Giants lead the Rockies 2-1 in the bottom of the 8th. Lincecum is on the mound tonight. He's still pitching. He's working on a 2-hitter.
The Rockies have lost 4 in a row. Down 3.5 to San Francisco.
Giants are the division leader in the National League West. Flip-flop with San Diego yesterday. The Padres host the Reds tonight. They're just underway. They're scoreless. Strike call. Down goes Davis as McClendon picks up his 3rd K.
Yeah, good pitch by Mike McClendon. There it is, that slider, a little bit of a backup slider. Didn't break like Davis thought it would, right on the inside corner.
The Marlins will go to their bench. Emilio Bonifacio will bat. 4-0 Crew. 1 out here in the 7th inning. At the top of the order coming up next. Cincinnati's magic number is down to 3, by the way. They could seal it up this weekend. Cardinals won today. They beat the Cubs 7-1. Adam Wainwright picked up his 20th win.
Took him a while, but he got it.
20-11, a 2.42 ERA. He's in the picture for Cy Young. Nationals beat the Braves. On a night when the Phillies won, Phillies outlasted the Mets 3-2. The Braves lose again, 3-2 Washington over Atlanta. So the Phillies are now 7 games up, and their magic number is 2.
11 in a row for Philadelphia.
They are hot at the right time.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say, I mean, no better time than right now to get everything clicking on all cylinders. The offense, the pitching. Just a matter of time for the Phillies. They were banged up all year. Now they're healthy. I'll tell you, though, the Braves hung in there. I think they surprised a lot of teams.
Yeah, Braves are still, to start today, at the top of the wild card standings, in danger of losing that spot tonight. Atlanta had a half-game lead over the Padres, 3.5 over the Rockies. It's going to come right down to it.
Yep.
Right down to the last day, you figure. It might even take an extra day to get it all sorted out. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. Bonifacio strikes out. And the 4th strikeout for McClendon. Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin text question. Michael in Brookfield. Can a 500 pitcher with great numbers win the Cy Young Award? And I'm sure that is based on Felix Hernandez and what he's done. 12-12 record, but a 2.31 ERA. Look at the innings and look at the strikeouts and walks.
Strikeout to walk ratio. I tell you, it's amazing. But I think CC Sabathia is going to win it.
I think it's still going to depend on what they do in their last starts, maybe. Last image for a voter. The thing about Felix Hernandez, he pitches in Seattle. He has not been pitching in a heated pennant race. He's pitching in a pitcher-friendly ballpark.
Big time.
Not to take anything away from his season at all. He's a premier pitcher. But listen, Yankee Stadium is a bandbox. CC Sabathia has won 20 games in arguably the toughest division in baseball.
Yep, Sabathia's had a 9-game winning streak this year. He's 8th in the league in earned run average, 326. And think about the teams that they have to play. More than not, in Toronto, they can bang. You got the Rays, you got Boston. I mean, those are tough lineups that they have to face quite a bit. About 16, 17 times a year.
I think that's what will hurt Hernandez, although he's had a great year, no question. David Price will be on the board for some votes in the American League as well. That's a good race between those two, Sabathia and Rice, I think. David Price, I should say.
I'm just a big fan of CC Sabathia.
Yep.
I got to admit, when he was over here, what a great guy, a warrior. I mean, he'd do anything to win a game. Big fan.
Fun to watch him. On the ground, Cruz makes a play, throws to first. Fielder able to scoop it. He wisely comes off the bag. As Cruz does not get it out, but saves a run by preventing it from going into the outfield.
I don't know, maybe his only chance was to throw it to Casey to third base. I don't even think they would have had a chance at Stanton there. It would have been close had he thought about the throw to third. Casey was there. And no chance to get Maven at first. He runs too well.
Gives you an idea of the range, though, for Luis Cruz. Look how far he went. Great play.
Man, he might have had a chance at third base.
So 2 men are on now with 2 out. And a base hit to left. Stanton will score. The Marlins are on the board for the first time. RBI single, Ozzie Martinez.
Well, it took a while, but the leadoff double comes around to score the first run for Florida. Got a slider up in the strike zone, and Martinez is swinging the bat well tonight. A couple of walks, he's hit a couple of line drives. had some good at bats tonight. Yeah, that slider just stayed middle in, similar to the pitch that he struck out Davis with.
And Ken Maka on his way to the mound. Here comes Zach Braddock. 4-1. The Brewers lead. Stay with us. We'll take a break. The 25th anniversary concert plays Miller Park on Saturday, October 2nd. Tickets are on sale now. Call 414-902-4000 or visit tickets.com. Great lineup. There's Tom. He's up there on the robo-cams. It's like playing a video game up there. Tom and Will. It's like Mutt and Jeff. Zach Braddock is on the pitch, and he comes into a hot spot. Tying run at the plate, Logan Morrison, the batter.
May very well be his only hitter. We got Dan Ugla and Gabby Sanchez, both righties, coming up, and Cameron Lowe getting loose in the bullpen. Morrison outstanding against left-handed pitching. He's 21 for 57, hitting almost 370.
Pulls that one foul.
He hangs in there nicely against lefties. That's nice and easy, nice relaxed stance and approach up there.
That's a big hitter. 2 on with Cameron Lowe loosening. Lowe will probably have Ugla. It's either going to be in this inning or next inning. Braddock would like to seal it up right here in the 7th.
You got to be careful with that slider if you don't get it down and away. I mean, the way this guy stands up there against lefties, very good at going to left field with it. If you leave it up in the zone, he's going to get a good swing at it.
Ball and 2 strikes. Got him. Braddock strikes him out. The Brewers strike out the side. McClendon and Braddock around a run and 3 hits. 4-1 our score. The Brewers lead it. And the Big Boppers coming up when we come back.
7th inning. Telly Hughes, Davey Nelson getting you set for Brewers Live post game. And Davey, has been all about the rookie pitcher, starting with Mark Rogers tonight.
Well, that's right. You know, he showed some nerves there in the first inning, but he was able to get out of it. And then Jeremy Jeffress come in and did a very nice job. McClendon's in there, did a nice job.
Well, I don't know about you, but this has been a very educational night. I didn't know those guys did all that stuff in the truck. Did you?
No, not at all. Man, I tell you what, when I went in there and didn't know because, you know, I've been doing my little stuff there. But now listening to him and watching and listening to Mike Ordino, talking to him, doing all this stuff, man, I'm glad I'm not a producer.
Well, some very talented folks out there. Once again, if you want to see more behind-the-scenes footage, go to foxsportswisconsin.com, and the education will continue during Brewers Live postgame. Our on-field instructional, Rock and Davey will break down Mike McClendon's slide step to the plate, so you don't want to miss that, guys.
All right, Telly, thanks. Ryan Braun bounces one to short. Bonifacio makes the play. The new pitcher, Bert Badenhop.
Well, we saw Badenhop in last night's ball game. Pitched a scoreless 2/3 inning. Marlins used 4 pitchers, including Anibal Sanchez, the starting pitcher last night. Badenhop in his 49th game. He's made some starts in the big leagues. Actually made a start against the Brewers. A 4.13 ERA, and Emilio Bonifacio, I like that name, takes over at shortstop.
Bonifacio pinch hit in the top of this inning, struck out. Zach Braddock picks up a strikeout with 2 on, with a tying run at the plate, and it's still 4-1. Getting to see some of the prized arms of the minor league system here. Rogers started, Jeffress, McClendon, Braddock. If it stays like this, you'll see Axford as well. It's encouraging.
Yes, very.
Fielder right off the glove of Badenhop. He recovers, and the out is made.
I'll tell you what's encouraging, the pitching staff in general in the month of September. We're sitting here right now, the 24th of September, and these guys have been throwing well. You know, good play by Badenhop, knocking it down. You know, with the shift on, it would have probably been an out anyway.
They talk about the Brewers pitching, their starting pitching especially this month. An earned run average that is near 2.5. That's how good the starters have been in the month of September. Problem is the Brewers are only 9-11 during the month.
It's been the offense, but not the last 3 days.
Ball and a strike to McGee. Still sitting on 99 runs batted in. He has 2 hits tonight. Both of those hits came when he led off innings. He batted with runners at the corners in 1 out of the 5th inning and popped up to second base. He is anxious to get to triple digits for runs batted in. Three and 1 to count. Casey with 22 homers and an average of 287 now with his 2 hits tonight. A lot of milestones. Fielder has surpassed the 100 walk plateau for the 2nd straight year. He's the only Brewer to ever do it in franchise history to walk more than 100 times. Ricky Weeks has surpassed the 100 runs plateau as a leadoff hitter. And he got 3 hitters with a chance to drive at 100 this year. Another base hit. McGee goes to the opposite field. His 3rd hit of the night. 3 for 4 is Casey McGee.
There's been a lot of very good individual performances offensively this year, but the Brewers would certainly trade it for a little bit more consistency throughout the year. You know, the Brewers have been able to put up big numbers from time to time, and there have been times where they haven't been able to do much at all. And Casey McGee, a classic opposite field stroke. leading with the hands and shooting that ball into right field. He's been doing that all year.
Now Lorenzo Cain.
They have 5 hitters with 20 or more home runs, and the Brewers have a chance to have 3 hitters with 30 homers this year. Mickey Weeks needs 2 more.
Just foul. Ball and a strike on Cain.
Individual accomplishments and goals and achieving those goals are one thing, but I think if you ask every one of the Brewers, they would certainly trade it for a playoff run, or at least, a season where they're, considerably over 500. It's going to still be a disappointing year for guys like Casey and Ryan and Corey Hart, because the team didn't win. And that's what it comes down to. That's what you go out there and you play for.
Off the end of the bat, Morrison will settle under it for the final out of the 7th. And we head to the 8th. The Brewers 4, the Marlins 1.
Things have changed quite a bit. Tomorrow's game coverage begins at 5:30 p.m. It'll be much cooler, even cooler than tonight. Clouds and some sunshine. First pitch temperature just 56.
All right, Kate, thank you. And fans, if you want the Brewers weather forecast sent to your phone, text keyword forecast to short code 234234. Click on the link. Roof closed under the lights of Miller Park, and the Brewers lead 4-1. Invite you to the ballpark this weekend, the last 2 games of the season here in Milwaukee. As Cameron Lowe is on to pitch. We move to the 8th inning. Lowe appearing for the 51st time, facing Dan Uggla to start this inning. I think Dan Uggla went up there with a broken bat. It's a good thing you noticed.
Yeah, you'd hate to hit one on the sweet spot with a broken back and watch it just land into Ryan Braun's glove.
How do you tell, other than, if it's a small break like that?
You kind of pound the handle, you grab it by the barrel of the bat, you pound the knob of the bat on the ground. You can tell it has a certain sound to it, and if there's any doubt in your mind whether your bat's broken, don't use it.
Make it a BP bat.
It's easy to say for a big leaguer because they've got thousands of bats to choose from. But back in the old days, we used to put a screw in it, tape it up, go get them. Can't do that now. Did you ever do that, or did you just have aluminum bats?
Aluminum. I wasn't good enough to play in the wood bat leagues.
I'm talking about when I was a kid in Little League.
Oh, no, I never had a wood bat growing up. I missed that generation. I wish I would have. I love the sound and the feel of a wood bat.
Yeah, your parents go out, you buy your bat at the sporting goods store, you break it, and if it's not too bad, you put a screw in it, you tape it up and you use it again.
Little duct tape.
Yeah.
Goes a long way.
Electric tape. My dad used electric tape. We didn't go out and buy special athletic tape. we went into his little workshop, pulled the electrical tape off the wall, and taped her up.
Sure, he loved that.
He did, actually. That meant he didn't have to buy me a new bat.
I miss the wood bats. I started using wood bats in college just for batting practice, just to, at that time it was, you kind of think, well, this will help me with the aluminum. Didn't work. A swing and a miss is a swing and a miss. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
See, I'm telling that story. Mike Faulkner next to you, shaking his head. Yep, I've done that. We all have done that.
Because you guys are a little more advanced.
Us folks of age.
In years.
Yeah. Money was tight back then.
It's not that money was not tight. It's just the wood bats were out of the picture from my generation.
Right. I get it. I get it.
Oh, I see.
I know. I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying that's why we taped them up and put screws in them. You know what else we used to do? My dad would have a bucket of balls. He'd throw me BP. Even back then, he noticed that I had a special talent. I'd knock the cover off him after a while. He'd tape those up, too, and throw them to me.
No, I've done that. Tape a bunch of gravel, put it in a Dixie cup, tape it up. That's a ball.
No.
That is a ball.
See, now, you never did that.
Oh, I did that all the time.
See, now you're lying.
I'm not. The fouls are back. I'm not.
Really? That's awesome.
Play cup ball.
I got a new respect for you, partner.
Wiffle ball. Make a glove out of a milk carton. Me and the rest of the kids in the Dominican, we play with a milk carton. Tried that too. Ugla, as Kane fields it on a hop. There's a base hit to start the eighth. Taking you behind the scenes of our crew tonight, back behind us.
There's Paul, our A2. We've got Crystal, who visits in the booth, but she actually does the audio work in the set out there for Davey and Telly tonight. Davey and Craig normally, and Renee, Renee Hofferman, who without her, I don't think this operation goes well, at least here in the booth. Right?
She's in the Stage Managers Hall of Fame.
Right. She's the best. I've been working with Renee now for 15 years. There's Michael.
Come on over, Mike. He loves this camera in front of him. Gives him a great view of the game.
Mike Faulkner, our stats man, and
my stats
who
man,
has also put a screw in a broken bat.
And Mike Faulkner knows every town in Wisconsin and where it is and what's close. And that comes in handy. The booth crew. You can check out the web, foxsportswisconsin.com, for a behind-the-scenes look at our crew. Just click on the Brewer Superfan tab, foxsportswisconsin.com. Broken bat. That's what a broken wood bat sounds like. As Kane makes a catch for the out. Put a nail in that one. One away, and we check in with Drew Olson.
B.A., you were talking about before that this game, the scoring decision in this game for the winning pitcher is in the hands of Tim O'Driscoll, the official scorer here at Miller Park. And it's probably going to be Jeremy Jeffress because he followed Mark Rogers to the mound. The easy thing to do is to give the win to the guy who follows the pitcher who doesn't complete 5 innings. But Jeremy Jeffress pitched well. Tim O'Driscoll had some pause with those 2-out walks and a 2-out base hit in his 2 innings of work. But then McClendon came in and gave up a run, and that pretty much sealed that. Now, the thing with McClendon is, had he struck out a bunch of guys and pitched, 5 out of 6 strikeouts or something like that, he would have been in line for a victory, possibly.
Now the Brewers hope to take it to the finish line here. Still a lot of baseball to be played. Those are decisions, speaking of behind the scenes, an official scorer has to think about and part of the official register.
Well, the official rule book, says that in a situation like that, it's the most effective pitcher out of the bullpen. This is a little bit more exciting than it looked like it was going to be. Ricky just couldn't get it out of his glove. On Foxmo, it looks like that ball's never going to get there, but able to beat Dan Ugla to second base.
That's almost a traveling violation. Brent Valenti, pre and post game producer. That's it.
And he is the designer and executor of the post game instructionals.
Yeah. Rock. And we'll be getting a email about a conference call shortly.
Oh, we got it already.
Oh, did we?
Oh, we usually get it about mid-game. Now, Brent does a nice job, a thankless job, and I got my Brewers Live conference call email a while ago.
See John Axford down in the bullpen. 2 outs, 0-2 the count on Stanton. Tying run still in the on-deck circle for Cameron Lowe. Could see Axford pitch in this 8th inning. Lowe's hoping to wrap it up in the 8th and allow Axford a chance in the 9th. At this point, it would be a save situation. The Brewers will have the bottom of the order coming up in the home 8th.
Yeah, make a mistake here, and Marlins are right back in it. Not that they aren't now, but this guy has got enormous power.
So far, so good for the Brewers tonight. It's been bullpen by committee after Rogers went 3. And a swing and a foul tip. Lucroy hangs on. A strikeout for Lowe. And the Marlins strand a base runner. Still 4-1 Milwaukee. Tonight, Mark Rogers on a strict pitch count with 3 hitless, scoreless innings. Jeffress, then McClendon, then Zach Braddock got out of a mess in the 7th. Cameron Lowe, a scoreless 8th. On the offensive side, Ryan Braun has 3 RBIs tonight. He's driven in 3 of the 4 runs. Drove in a pair in the 3rd inning with a single, and then had an RBI single in the 5th. Fielder has the other RBI. 4-1 Brewers. They are back in double digits in hits with 10 tonight. 3 straight games with double-digit hit totals. Jonathan Lucroy, rookie catcher, will lead off this 8th inning. Bottom of the Brewers order, Lucroy, Cruz, and most likely a pinch hitter. Now John Axford in the bullpen. As it stands right now, it's a save situation. Trevor Hoffman throwing in the bullpen as well. He has not pitched in a game since his 600th save back on September 7th.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. Could it be that Trevor's going to come in the 9th? That would be interesting.
There's something to watch. Lucroy hits that one hard into center field. Back is Maben at the track, and he makes the catch. Cameron Maben, a highlight reel catch in deep center field.
Well, really no sense of urgency by Maben on going up back on that baseball. Wow. I think he misjudged it. You can see the reaction that he has. I don't think he thought it was hit that hard. He really never does run all that hard after this baseball. He's got much better speed than that, but able to haul it in, got in the webbing and up against the wall. As long as you catch it, it really doesn't matter how.
Lucroy robbed of extra bases as Maben outruns one in center. Now Luis Cruz. Lucroy 0 for 4 tonight. Hit a couple of balls hard though. Bouncing ball up the middle and a base hit. So Cruz with his first hit. And a base runner for a pinch hitter. Joe Inglet will come on to hit. Here is tonight's in-game box score presented by Mass Mutual. The Brewers have 11 hits, scoring 4 runs. Ryan Braun with 3 RBIs tonight. Braun now 96 runs batted in for the season. Fielder drove in his 79th run. A pair of 2-run innings for the Brewers. 2 in the third, 2 in the fifth. Inglet. A fly ball right center. Long way to go for Maben, and he won't get there. That's to the corner. Luis Cruz around third. He'll try to score. The throw is cut off. Inglet into third. It's an RBI triple, and the Brewers have a 5-1 lead.
Another triple for Joe Inglet. How many is that? That's his 5th. Amazing. He doesn't have that many at bats. I tell you, I was walking out of the ballpark last night, walked by the Brewers batting cage, and I heard some hitting going on. It was about 10:30, 11 o'clock. It's Joe Inglet. After the game, here we are at the end of September, and Darryl Swaim's throwing Joe Inglet batting practice after the game, and it pays off. He gets his triple and an RBI. So the work continues for this Brewers ball club. There's no mailing it in with these guys.
That's a good story and good to hear. And Joe Inglet now with 20 pinch hits this year. That leads all of baseball. The most pinch hits in a season for the Brewers in franchise history is 22. That was set by Lenny Harris in 2002. And Inglet has a shot at that with 2 more. So an RBI triple, the 12th Brewers hit. And it's 5-1. Infield is in for the Marlins here with Ricky Weeks at the plate. Back up the middle, a base hit. Another run will score. And it is 6-1 Brewers as Ricky Weeks comes up with an RBI single.
Well, now you know why Trevor Hoffman is getting loose in the bullpen. Probably will not use John Axford. Now that it's not a save situation, it's a 5-run lead for the Brewers. Well, you got to anticipate these things if you're a manager. Had Axford up and loose. Just in case you get some runs, you get Trevor Hoffman an inning. And there it is, the Brewers with 2 runs on the board.
6-1 Milwaukee. Weeks drives in his 82nd run of the season. And now hard in the right field, backing up Stanton. Weeks thought there were 2 outs. Stanton has a double play right in front of him. And the inning will end. Ricky lost count of the outs. 2-run score, however, on 3 hits. 6-1 Milwaukee. Time now for the U.S. Cellular text to vote question of the week. You can text your answer to 234-234. We want to know who your pick is for Brewers MVP this season. W for Weeks, X for McGee, Y for John Axford, Z for Corey Hart. Let's text the corresponding letter. Well, the Brewers have a 6-1 lead, not a save situation, so the all-time saves king will get an inning here. Last time he pitched, September 7th. And it was a memorable night. Maybe the highlight of the season for the Brewers, certainly for our broadcast team, as Trevor Hoffman nailed down number 600, a milestone. First major leaguer to 600 saves. What a moment it was here at Miller Park on September 7th. Got his wife Tracy here, his 3 sons. And now Hoffman is on for the first time since then. Ken Maka said he wanted to get Hoffman an inning here in one of these last 3 games so the fans of Milwaukee could see him one more time, applaud him one more time.
Now the Brewer offense obliged. Get a few runs, you sit John Axford down and give Trevor an opportunity to close this one out tonight.
There's Jesse Levy, handheld cameraman.
He's out there for all the instructionals, running around with that camera.
And that is a base hit to right. So Davis on his way to second. And Cruz deked him at second base. Now he's on his way at third. And he'll end up with a triple. Rather, Scott Cousins pinch hitting for Brad Davis. So Scott Cousins with a triple to start the 9th inning.
Now it looked like a changeup on an 0-2 count that Trevor left up in the strike zone. It's been an awfully long time between outings for Trevor, and you figure his command's not going to be where he would like it to be. Corey having some problems down in the corner. That's why Cousins able to get to third base.
So it could be a double and an error. See what the official ruling on it is. It'll be a triple all the way. Bonifacio swing and a miss.
Hey, that corner down the right, that's a tough corner to play. You've got a lot of things going on down there, and a play like that, not easy. Of course, if you've been out there for as many years as Corey has, he'll tell you should have cut it off.
A changeup. Bonifacio out in front.
Better spot down there. Back-to-back changeups.
Now, no word yet on Trevor Hoffman's future plans. He's going to wait till the end of the season to reevaluate it. Seems like he is headed for retirement. Just looking at the career milestone as Bonifacio sends one right center. Kane on the run. And he's got it for the out. Tagging at third is Cousins. He'll score. And the Marlins have their second run at the first out. Hoffman has had the stated goal of 600 saves for the last couple of years now. And now that he's achieved it, probably will be the end. But you never know.
Keep your options open.
Yeah, you don't want to commit to that.
But what a professional, Trevor Hoffman. If this is indeed his last year, baseball will sorely miss him. He's been a great influence on this whole ball club. He's been an influence on every one of us that travel with the ball club.
He's got the bullpen out there working hard every day. About 5 hours before first pitch, they call them the Hoffman Olympics. And he's the leader. He's 42 years of age, and not one of the bullpen mates can keep up with him, even the 20-year-olds.
That's the only way you can stick around and be as successful as Trevor's been. And you just can't sit around and throw your glove out there and expect success. He works hard for it and doesn't take anything for granted.
Mark Rogers started. Trevor finishes it off here. Probably Jeremy Jeffress with the win. Bouncing ball to short. Cruz makes a play. 2 outs. Well, our players of the game, how about the Brewer pitching staff? 6 of them used. Rogers was on a strict pitch count. That's why he only went 3 innings. Jeffress went 2, gave up just 1 hit. Mike McClendon inning in 2/3. Zach Braddock retired the tying run at the plate. Cameron Lowe worked the scoreless 8th inning. Or rather, Lowe giving up the 1 hit. And there they are. 2 outs. They come to their feet here at Miller Park as Wes Helms will bat for the Marlins. Well, if the victory is awarded to Jeremy Jeffress, it would be his first major league win. So on a night when Mark Rogers and Mike McClendon collect their first major league hits, Jeffress could get the game ball for his first big league victory. A night of firsts. And it's possible that a streak could end here tonight. Logan Morrison is on deck. If Hoffman retires Helms, Morrison's 42-game streak of reaching base will end here tonight. Morrison hopes for a shot at the plate. In the air to right, playable for Hart. And that will do it. Could be Trevor Hoffman's last appearance at Miller Park. Still 2 to play, we'll see. But Jeremy Jeffress picks up his first win of his career. And the Milwaukee Brewers beat the Florida Marlins 6-2. Well-pitched ball game tonight. Still much more to come on this game. Telly Hughes, what do you have coming up for us on Brewers Live?
Well, we'll continue things on Brewers Live PA. We'll have some dugout reaction from Drew Olson. We'll have our on-field instructional. We're here from manager Ken Maka and the rookie pitcher shine. We'll have a preview of Game 3 of this 4-game series coming up on Brewers Live.